Airports across the US are quietly rolling out updated screening methods for 2026, and seniors are feeling the impact first, not because anyone is breaking rules, but because the rules themselves are evolving faster than most travelers realize. What used to pass through without a glance is suddenly getting flagged, and the confusion is catching people off guard in the worst possible moments. Last month, 71-year-old Octavia Holland experienced this firsthand. She arrived early, she followed every guideline she knew, and yet she was pulled aside for a simple item she had packed on dozens of flights. Nothing had changed in her routine, the change was in how the airport examined her bag. And the truth is, Octavia isn't the exception. All over the country, seniors are walking into TSA lanes relying on old habits that no longer match what agents are looking for. The new systems don't come with a warning label, and many travelers only discover these updates when a familiar item suddenly becomes a reason to stop the line. This is Senior Travel Adventures. Tap like so more seniors avoid these surprise holdups, and subscribe for safer, smoother trips after 60. Now, let's break down the 8 carry-on rules that matter most for 2026, the rules Octavia wished she knew before her trip. These aren't complicated, but they make a world of difference. They'll help you stay calm, stay organized, and move through security with the confidence that your preparation matches what TSA is actually looking for today. Rule 1. All medical devices must be documented and pre-declared. Smart pill organizers, glucose sensors, and digital health devices confuse scanners. A short printed note or pharmacy document prevents bag searches and awkward questions. For seniors traveling in 2026, medical devices are no longer something you can simply toss into your carry-on and hope for the best. The new screening systems are powerful, but they are not perfect. They read shapes, densities, wires, and patterns, not your intentions, not your medical needs, and not the years of routine you're used to. That means a device you rely on every day might look unfamiliar or suspicious to the scanner, even when it's completely harmless. And nothing slows down a security line faster than an item the machine can't instantly identify. Most seniors don't realize this shift until they are standing barefoot at TSA, with an agent holding up a device they've lived with for years. It's uncomfortable. It feels personal. And for many older travelers, it can trigger embarrassment or anxiety they didn't expect. That's why documentation isn't just a good idea in 2026, it's a stress shield. A simple sheet of paper can answer questions before they are asked. Think about the devices in your routine. A smart pill organizer that beeps when it's time to take your medication. A portable EKG monitor your cardiologist recommended. A digital inhaler that tracks your breathing. Even a heated back wrap or a wearable pain relief patch. Every one of these items can pull you into secondary screening if the scanner doesn't recognize it. But when you hand an agent a brief printed note, just a device name, purpose, and doctor or pharmacy contact, the tension disappears. You stay in control of the moment instead of reacting to it. Pre-declaring your device is even more powerful. You don't have to give a speech. You don't have to explain your health history. All you need is one short line spoken calmly: I have a medical device in my bag, and documentation is inside the front pocket. That sentence tells the agent you're prepared, cooperative, and confident. It sets the tone for the entire interaction. And here's something many seniors don't know: TSA agents appreciate travelers who pre-declare. It saves them time, it reduces confusion, and it keeps the line moving. It also helps ensure your device is handled gently and respectfully, instead of rushed through a search because the agent is trying to manage a busy lane. Whether you travel once a year or once a month, this rule protects your dignity. It protects your time. And it reminds you that traveling after 60 isn't about avoiding problems, it's about staying one thoughtful step ahead. Rule 2. Carry-on size enforcement is now strict, not flexible. Airlines didn't shrink overhead bins, they simply stopped ignoring borderline bags. Older roller bags that always fit may now get pulled for gate check. For years, seniors traveled with a quiet confidence: if a bag fit last time, it would fit this time. But 2026 is shifting that comfort zone. Airlines are under pressure to speed up boarding, reduce crowding in the aisles, and eliminate the scramble for overhead space. And the easiest way for them to do that is by enforcing carry-on size limits with a level of consistency we haven't seen in more than a decade. The rule hasn't changed, the attitude toward the rule has. Many seniors still rely on sturdy, well-loved luggage purchased 15 or 20 years ago. These bags are durable, but they're also a little wider here, a little taller there, and the wheels often extend farther than newer designs. For years, gate agents let it slide because overhead bins weren't monitored closely. But now, airlines are using rigid sizes, boarding lane checks, and occasional random inspections to keep only true carry-ons on board. That means a bag that felt fine last year may now be flagged the moment it's rolled toward the jet bridge. The emotional sting hits hardest when it happens unexpectedly. Seniors often describe that moment of being stopped as feeling singled out, frustrated, or rushed, especially when there's a line of passengers waiting behind them. And older bags aren't the only culprit. Overstuffing by just one extra sweater, one pair of shoes, or one medical pouch can push the bag past the limit. Even soft-sided luggage can lose its flexibility over time, holding its shape in a way that no longer compresses into tight bins. The best way to stay ahead is to measure your bag, wheels and handles included, before every major trip. Don't trust memory. Don't trust how it looks. Use a simple tape measure and compare it to your airline's posted size chart within 72 hours of your flight. This is crucial because some airlines quietly adjust their allowed dimensions seasonally or when aircraft types change. A bag that fits on a Boeing may not fit on a regional jet, and enforcement is strictest on smaller planes. Another smart move is to pack a foldable tote or lightweight secondary bag. If your roller is questioned, you can quickly transfer essential items, medications, electronics, and personal documents, and check the main bag without panic. This tiny step restores control and avoids the humiliating rush of sorting your belongings in front of strangers. Carry-on rules aren't meant to punish travelers. But in 2026, they demand awareness. Knowing your bag truly fits, not probably fits, keeps your trip calm, smooth, and free from last-minute surprises. Rule 3. Dense packing and layered clothing trigger extra screening. New scanners care about density. Thick sweaters, folded blankets, and layered jackets slow the line and pull seniors aside, even if everything is allowed. One of the most surprising changes seniors are noticing in 2026 is how sensitive the new scanners are to density, not just shape. TSA's updated imaging systems are designed to look deeper into bags and clothing, which means anything tightly packed, stacked, or layered can appear unclear on the screen. And when the image isn't clear, the scanner doesn't guess, it flags. For many seniors, this leads to an unexpected moment where an agent asks to open the bag or rerun it through the machine, even if nothing inside is prohibited. Dense packing is a habit that develops naturally over time. Seniors often fold clothing neatly, stack sweaters to save space, or roll up blankets for comfort on the plane. These habits worked perfectly for years. But in 2026, the scanner sees a block of tightly layered fabric as a single, opaque mass. It can't identify what's inside that mass, so it signals for manual inspection. That's why travelers who pack cleanly and neatly are actually being stopped more often now. Their organization creates density the machine can't interpret. Layered clothing plays into the same issue. Many seniors dress warmly for airports because they know temperatures can drop quickly or long walks can trigger chills. A jacket over a sweater, with a scarf tucked underneath, is completely normal. But to a scanner, this creates overlapping materials that block the clarity of your outline. This can trigger a pat-down, a rescan, or questions you didn't expect. None of it means you did anything wrong. It simply means the machine needs more detail. A helpful adjustment is to spread items out inside your carry-on instead of stacking them tightly. Instead of folding sweaters into thick squares, consider rolling them loosely or placing them flat along the side of the bag. If you're bringing a blanket for comfort, choose a thinner travel blanket that compresses easily rather than a quilt or fleece throw. This reduces the solid block effect on the scanner, allowing it to distinguish each item clearly. For clothing, try wearing one warm but lightweight outer layer through screening. If you tend to get cold easily, keep heavier items in your bag until after you pass through TSA, where you can put them on comfortably without slowing the line or triggering confusion. Even something as small as unzipping your jacket before stepping into the scanner can help the machine read your outline more easily. None of these adjustments take away your comfort or independence. They simply help you stay one step ahead of a system that isn't personal, just precise. And when you understand how the scanner sees your belongings and your clothing, you move through security with fewer interruptions, more confidence, and a smoother experience from start to finish. Rule 4. Medication kits must be labeled and easy to verify. Weekly pill organizers and loose tablets create confusion. A printed list or a quick photo of your medication labels clears everything in seconds. For many seniors, medication isn't optional, it's part of daily life. But in 2026, the way those medications appear on a scanner matters more than most travelers realize. Pill organizers, dose packs, mixed tablets, and unmarked containers can all look unclear or suspicious to the machine, even though everything inside is completely legal. The scanner doesn't recognize a drug by color or shape. It simply detects small, dense objects placed close together, and that often leads to a manual inspection. For seniors who take several medications each day, that moment can feel intrusive and stressful, especially when an agent needs to ask questions about items you've handled for years. Labeling your medication kit isn't about proving anything, it's about giving TSA quick clarity so you don't have to explain your entire regimen under pressure. A simple printed list that includes the name of each medication, your dosage, and your pharmacy or doctor's contact information turns a confusing moment into a calm, routine one. You don't need complicated medical paperwork. A single sheet, folded neatly into your kit, is enough for the agent to understand exactly what they are looking at. Another powerful option, especially if you prefer efficiency, is to take photos of your medication bottles before the trip. Capture the labels clearly, including your name and the prescription details. Save the images in an album on your phone titled Travel Medications. If an agent asks for clarification, you simply open your phone and show the list. This takes seconds and avoids fumbling through your bag or feeling rushed while others wait behind you. If you use a weekly pill organizer, consider choosing one with small removable compartments. That way, if an agent needs to examine something, you're not forced to open the entire organizer or expose your full week's supply. It keeps your routine private and reduces the risk of spills or mix-ups. And if you travel with supplements, which many seniors do, it's wise to keep them in original bottles or at least label small containers yourself. Supplements often vary in shape and color, and unlabeled capsules can raise unnecessary questions during screening. Most importantly, remember that this rule is about maintaining your dignity. When your medications are labeled and your documentation is ready, you stay in control of the moment. Instead of defending what you take or why you take it, you calmly provide the information and move forward. It's a small change that makes security smoother, protects your routine, and gives you confidence that nothing in your health kit will interrupt your journey. Rule 5. Mobility aids require a calm, simple verbal declaration. A cane, posture brace, or compression support is allowed, but saying it up front helps TSA handle your device properly and keeps you steady and safe. Mobility aids are not obstacles at the airport, they are tools that protect your independence. But in 2026, the way these aids are handled during screening has become more structured, and seniors who stay silent often experience more delays than those who speak up early. TSA agents are trained to assist travelers with mobility needs, but they can only help correctly when they know exactly what you're using and how it supports you. A quiet, confident declaration at the start prevents misunderstandings and keeps you safe from unnecessary strain. Many older travelers don't realize how easily mobility aids trigger confusion on new scanners. A cane may contain metal reinforcement, a brace may include flexible rods, and certain compression supports can appear as rigid lines across the body. The scanner doesn't identify these automatically, it simply flags something unusual, which leads to a pat-down or secondary check. When you proactively explain your device, you help the agent anticipate what the scanner will detect, which smooths the entire process. Pre-declaring doesn't need to feel awkward. You're not drawing attention to yourself, you're guiding the situation. A simple sentence works wonders. I'm using a mobility aid, and I'll need to keep my balance during screening. Or, if you're wearing something under your clothing, I have a medical brace on my back, it may show on the scanner. These statements protect you from being asked to perform movements that might be uncomfortable or unsafe. It's also helpful to tell the agent if your aid cannot be removed or should not be lifted. Some posture supports or ankle braces need to stay in place to prevent discomfort, and TSA agents are trained to respect that once they're informed. If you use a cane, keep it close until the agent instructs you, and feel free to ask for support if they need to take it briefly. Many seniors hesitate because they don't want to slow the line, but speaking up actually speeds things up. For travelers using multiple aids, such as a cane plus a compression sleeve, mentioning them as a group prevents repeated questioning. And if you have difficulty standing still or raising your arms fully, say so at the beginning. New scanners can adjust their procedure, but only if staff know your physical limits. Remember, verbal declaration isn't a burden. It's a tool that allows TSA to handle your screening with care, giving you stability, dignity, and respect. When you calmly advocate for what you need, the entire experience becomes smoother, safer, and far less stressful. Rule 6. Any Bluetooth or electronic health device must be declared early. If it lights up, syncs, or beeps, from heart patches to glucose readers, tell the agent before screening. It avoids surprise checks. In 2026, one of the most confusing moments seniors face at TSA comes from devices that barely existed a decade ago. Health technology has advanced quickly, and older travelers are now carrying more electronic medical tools than ever. These devices are small, lightweight, and often worn discreetly under clothing. But to a scanner, anything with a chip, wire, sensor, or Bluetooth signal stands out instantly. When the machine can't categorize a device on your body or in your bag, it does what it's designed to do. It pauses the screening and alerts an agent. That pause is where delays, questions, and stress begin. The challenge isn't the device itself, it's the technology behind it. Heart monitoring patches, rechargeable hearing amplifiers, digital asthma inhalers, glucose readers, portable nerve stimulators, scoliosis monitors, hydration trackers, even certain pain management devices send signals or contain internal electronics that the scanner flags as irregular. When you don't tell the agent ahead of time, the machine becomes the one to reveal your device, and that can feel uncomfortable or invasive. But a simple, early declaration changes the entire experience. You don't need to give medical details. You don't need to explain your condition. All TSA needs is awareness. A single sentence, spoken calmly, puts you in control. I'm wearing a medical device that uses Bluetooth. It's approved to stay on. Or, for items inside your bag. This pouch has a medical device that charges electronically. This forewarning prevents confusion when the scanner highlights something unexpected on your torso, arm, or within a packed bag. Instead of reacting with surprise, the agent already knows what to expect. Many seniors are surprised at how much easier screening becomes when they take this small step. The agent becomes more patient. Instructions become clearer. And most importantly, you move through the process without feeling exposed. If you use multiple electronic devices, place them in a single labeled pouch. This keeps everything organized and signals to TSA that you're prepared. If removing the device is not medically safe or recommended, say so. Agents are trained to respect and work around medical needs, but only after they understand what you're using. Don't wait for the scanner to tell your story for you. Declaring your device early protects your privacy, reduces stress, and prevents those uncomfortable moments where you're asked to explain a piece of equipment while standing in front of a crowd. It's a small act that keeps your journey smooth, respectful, and firmly in your hands. Rule 7. Expect pause zones for image review at some airports. You may be asked to wait while AI reviews your scan. It isn't personal. A gentle line like, "I use a medical device and I'll follow your instructions," helps everything move smoothly. As airports transition into more advanced screening systems for 2026, a new experience is becoming increasingly common for senior travelers, the pause zone. This is a small waiting area just beyond the scanner where passengers are temporarily held so AI-enhanced imaging can be reviewed by an officer. It's not a punishment, it's not an accusation, and it's not a sign that you've done anything wrong. It's simply the system taking an extra moment to understand what it has just detected. For many seniors, though, this pause can feel uncomfortable. The uncertainty, the stillness, and the silence can all create a sense of being scrutinized when all you want to do is continue your journey. The key to navigating a pause zone confidently is preparation. These areas are used when the scanner captures something it wants a human to double-check. Maybe a medical device, maybe layered clothing, maybe something in your pocket you forgot about. Instead of being waved forward instantly, you might be asked to step aside for a moment. The agent may not explain the reason right away, and that can create tension. But understanding that the pause zone is simply part of the new normal helps you stay grounded. Knowing how to respond makes the biggest difference. A calm, clear sentence like, "I use a medical device and I'm happy to follow your instructions," sets a respectful tone, shows cooperation, and alerts the agent to what they should be aware of. This helps the officer anticipate what might appear on the scan and reduces the chances of an awkward or unnecessary pat-down. Seniors often underestimate how reassuring this kind of communication can be, not just for themselves, but for the staff helping them. If standing for long periods is difficult, it's completely acceptable to say so. Many seniors think they must endure discomfort quietly, but TSA agents can provide a chair or allow you to lean if needed. Just state your needs gently. Likewise, if your mobility device is taken for inspection, you can ask for stability assistance. These requests are not burdens, they are part of your rights as a passenger with mobility considerations. Another helpful step is keeping your pockets completely empty and your clothing unlayered during screening. This reduces the chances of being pulled into a pause zone in the first place. And if you're wearing an item like a brace, patch, or support wrap under your clothes, mentioning it beforehand speeds up the review process. Pause zones aren't going away, they are becoming more common. But with the right mindset and a simple, polite script, you can move through them with confidence, dignity, and ease, turning what feels like a stressful moment into a smooth, predictable part of modern travel. Rule 8. Check TSA rules and airline rules 48 to 72 hours before you fly. TSA controls security. Airlines control bag size and enforcement. Their rules don't always match, and airlines change theirs the fastest. One of the most common points of confusion for seniors in 2026 isn't at the scanner, it's before they even get to the airport. Travelers often assume that TSA sets every rule about what can and can't be carried on, but that's only half the story. TSA decides what is allowed through security, but airlines decide what is allowed on the aircraft, and those two sets of rules don't always line up as neatly as people expect. This mismatch has led to countless last-minute bag checks, unexpected fees, and stressful gate conversations for older travelers who thought they were fully prepared. What makes this especially challenging in 2026 is how frequently airlines update their carry-on policies. These aren't major announcements broadcast on the news, they're small changes that happen quietly on websites, sometimes overnight. One carrier might tighten personal item measurements during busy travel seasons. Another may adjust carry-on limits based on the type of aircraft being used on your route. On regional jets, for example, even a perfectly legal TSA-approved bag might not fit overhead, forcing a gate check you didn't plan for. Seniors traveling with medications, delicate electronics, or mobility accessories need to know this before they pack. The smartest habit you can build is checking both TSA guidance and your airline's website 48 to 72 hours before your flight. This window matters. It's close enough to the travel date that last-minute airline changes will already be posted, but early enough for you to adjust your packing without stress. Look specifically at your airline's carry-on size chart, personal item rules, mobility aid accommodations, and whether your flight is operated by a partner airline, which can have different policies altogether. If you're flying with medical devices, it's also a good idea to confirm whether the aircraft has overhead limitations or if gate checking is likely. You don't need to memorize anything, just knowing what to expect keeps you from feeling blindsided at the gate. And if you're unsure, calling customer service for clarification is not only acceptable, it's encouraged. Airline agents would rather answer a question than deal with frustration at boarding time. For seniors, preparation equals peace of mind. When you double-check both sets of rules, you walk into the airport fully informed, fully confident, and far less likely to experience the last-minute surprises that can turn an easy trip into a stressful one. This small habit protects your comfort, your medication access, and your entire travel experience. Once Octavia understood these rules, she breezed through her next trip. No confusion. No embarrassment. No delays. Those few moments of stress she experienced before became the very lessons that reshaped her confidence. What felt overwhelming the first time suddenly became simple when she knew what to expect. She walked up to the checkpoint with her documents ready, her devices clearly labeled, her bag packed with the right awareness, and a calm sense of control she hadn't felt in years. Instead of worrying about what might go wrong, she moved with a quiet assurance, knowing that every decision she made before arriving at the airport was protecting her comfort, her dignity, and her time. Seniors often carry the weight of experience, and when that experience meets preparation, travel becomes smoother than most people imagine. It's not about memorizing every rule. It's about learning the rhythm of modern travel and trusting yourself enough to adapt. Octavia found that once she adjusted to these new habits, they stopped feeling like extra steps and instead became part of a much easier routine, a routine that allowed her to focus on the joy of her journey, not the stress of getting there. Travel after 60 isn't harder, it's smarter. And a little preparation goes a long way. That's the heart of senior travel in 2026. You're not being asked to change everything. You're simply shifting a few small habits that create a big difference in how confident and respected you feel at the airport. And when you walk through security with clarity, calmness, and a sense of readiness, you're not just avoiding delays, you're proving to yourself that age doesn't limit your freedom. In fact, it empowers it. If this helped you, tap like and share it with a traveler over 60. And subscribe to Senior Travel Adventures. Your next journey should feel confident, prepared, and stress-free. This isn't just a reminder. It's an invitation into a community where every traveler values dignity, ease, and the joy of exploring without fear. When seniors support each other by sharing knowledge, every trip becomes a little brighter, a little safer, and a lot more enjoyable. Your travel story is still unfolding, and it deserves comfort, clarity, and confidence at every step.